LeBron, after his age 27 season, was already at 19,000 points. I think LeBron's going to be really tough to catch. I personally don't
I think the Ringer put the chances at like 20% or might have been 12%. It would be, basically is the only guy that was in a realistic realm possibility. I don't think it will happen either. I mean, LeBron is also very thirsty to get that.
Well,
LeBron is also very thirsty to get that.
Well,
LeBron is also very thirsty to get that.
Well, that's the other thing.
I'm not sure if
yeah, he's I don't want to say he's padding, but he's playing really well on a bad team and putting up big points. LeBron had all these seasons where he was playing 37, 38 minutes a game. I think he had one season where he played like 40 minutes a game, and he was at 30 points a game, but with like real minutes, dude, playing 75, 80 games.
Everything begins with the name, the chosen one. LeBron James was obviously handpicked from day one to be the all-time leading scorer in RBA history. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, the RBA stands for the Rigged Basketball Association, coined by none other than myself. But in other words, LeBron James' entire career was scripted, rigged, however you want to phrase it. Now, as you listen to these so-called sports media analysts, they told us in so many ways that the stage had been set for LeBron James to surpass Kareem on the all-time scoring list since he very first entered the league. Now, Chick Hearns, former late Lakers announcer, actually laid the blueprint for what it would actually take for a player to actually surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the all-time scoring list.
Right hand 12-footer. This man has accomplished something that I don't believe, and I mean this sincerely. I don't think this will ever happen again, because he has another year to add to it. And the way I got it figured, if a man plays every single game, and nobody can, for 15 years, 82 games a year, for 15 years, and average 25 points, he would tie what's been done here tonight. If a man plays every single game, and nobody can, for 15 years, 82 games a year, for 15 years, and average 25 points, he would tie what's been done here tonight.
If a man plays every single game and nobody can, for 15 years, 82 games a year, for 15 years and average 25 points, he would tie what's been done here tonight.
But nobody's going to play every game for 15 years. No one is in the physical shape this guy is in. And not many people ever play the game 15 years.
Now, in my opinion, I believe that this was a form of reverse psychology. Even Chick Hearns knew that back then that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar stopped at a certain point so that LeBron James can pick up where Kareem left off at. Because Kareem could have kept playing and just shattered the record to make it unreachable, if that's a word, for any player, just like LeBron James is doing currently. His script stopped at a certain point so LeBron James could pick up where he left off at. But I mean, who else is capable of doing the impossible like the Marvel-like character superhero, the chosen one, LeBron James? I mean, he was the first superstar player from Cleveland. Well, I guess you could say Akron, because I guess that's where he's from, Akron. He's from the Ak. But he was drafted where he was from. You don't see that happen too often. If that wasn't enough of a magical story out of a children's book, everything had to go right in order for LeBron James to be able to surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the all-time scoring list. Let me explain to you how. LeBron James was selected to a trash team with nothing but opportunity to accumulate all these points in a league where there's no big man in the paint to drive through the lane where all his points are scored. There's a no hand checking rule, no co-star who he has to pass the ball to, which would get in his way of him adding to his career points total. So he's able to get a head start. Once again, he was the chosen one, being able to come right into the team and handed the keys to the franchise. So Chick Hearns was right. Too many things would have to go right. But if nobody can do it, the Le Super Braun can do it, okay? I mean, He was the first player in RBA history to pull off a 3-1 comeback against a 73-9 team. Sounds realistic, doesn't it? I mean, nobody ever did that. Or maybe you would have to be the first player in RBA history to never sustain a major injury throughout your 19-year career, playing at a very high level, pushing the ball in transition, playing a very grueling style, ball-dominant player. How was that possible? You know how it's possible? Because he's the chosen one, ladies and gentlemen, out of all human beings on planet Earth. When God made LeBron James specifically, he said, "You will be the father of Father Time." Let me say that again, because Pastor Ricks is preaching. Pastor Ricks is preaching to you, ladies and gentlemen. I said, it says chapter 6, book of King James, passage 23. It says, you will be the father of Father Time. Can I get a witness up in here? Okay, B? But how can we make this so believable that we can program fans to believe that this so-called specimen of a man will personify longevity? We'll just say he takes care of his body, spends $1 million a year on his body. But I'm gonna let Chad Ochocinco explain why that's not important.
You keep talking about McDonald's, all that, man, but I truly believe sleep and nutrition is the biggest X factors. I'm telling you, bro. Bro, you could have played 20 years, bro. You played.
I wouldn't have played 20 years because I fucked up.
I believe it.
I fucked up. Bro. Period. I wouldn't have played.
Bro,
I wouldn't have played.
I'm talking about numbers.
My numbers were great, just how they were. Eating McDonald's.
Cincinnati?
Yes.
The last year in Cincinnati?
My last year, I can't control the opportunities coming to me, idiot. What the f does food have to do with my skill set?
Think about it. I'm about to talk to you. Sit down. LeBron James.
Don't talk to me about LeBron James. Stop using him as a example.
Why? He's the benchmark. Tom Brady's the benchmark. If you were your lifestyle, if you were eating better, and if you were sleeping better, just listen. Listen.
Baby,
if you
what time do I go to bed?
Listen to me.
What time do I go to bed? Do I club? Do I drink?
You're
but
eating
this
McDonald's.
telling me the f***ing McDonald's is the reason.
McDonald's.
What did McDonald's do in my career?
What are you talking about? Do you understand the power of food?
You're f***ing brainwashed.
Do you understand?
Yes, you're brainwashed.
This is science.
These is not.
This is science. Good
carbs. What I eat is going to make me catch better, get the f*** open,
it's not
score
about
touchdowns.
It's not about that.
Not.
It's
Either
not
you
about
got
that. It's not about that.
It's not about that. Have you been hurt? Chad, how many times you got hurt?
You know what's in? Never!
How many times you been hurt?
Never!
Brandon, how many times you been hurt?
How many times you hurt? What is that?
You was lining up with your 40 grand of proteins a day, and you got hurt, and he was eating McDonald's and never got hurt.
That's right, Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, Ochocinco, whatever your name is nowadays. You can take care of your body like, hey, maybe a Karl Malone, but still sustain a major knee injury. But hey, Karl Malone wasn't the chosen one, ladies and gentlemen, so he wasn't fortunate enough to avoid injury like the amazing LeBron James can. He could turn water into cranberry juice. Or, better yet, he could walk on fire without saying, ouch. That shit hurts. But speaking of Karl Malone, let's break down just how scripted sports is. Now, what a coincidence. Back in 2003, a new team called the Detroit Shock defeated the Los Angeles Sparks, who was looking to three-peat in the WNBA Finals. The following year, in 2004, the Los Angeles Lakers lost to the Detroit Pistons. The Lakers had just came off a three-peat. What's crazy is Karl Malone's daughter played for that very Detroit Pistons team, going up against the Los Angeles Sparks, who wear purple and gold, by the way. And then the following year, the Pistons defeated the Los Angeles Lakers with Karl Malone. What a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. What a coincidence. But again, all things will have to go right. Although Karl Malone played reduced minutes and played alongside 3 Hall of Famers in Shaq, Kobe, and Gary Payton, Karl Malone still suffered an injury, although he had reduced minutes. LeBron James somehow is playing more minutes and still hasn't sustained a major injury. I wonder why that is. But I guess it's the perfect time to script an injury so Karl Malone can retire and leave the stage set for a future player to surpass Kareem. But also, here's a 2011 article who they reveal are the top 10 players in the RBA most likely to surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the all-time scoring list. And what do you know? Guess who's number 1? You guessed it right, LeBron James. out of all players. So they already knew back then, like I said, it's all been scripted. But LeBron James finally got his co-star after leaving Cleveland in his first stint. He went to go play with Dwayne Wade in Miami. But even though it was D Wade's team, Dwayne Wade decided to take a back seat, which also helped increase LeBron James' scoring total. But many people love to compare LeBron's career up to Kobe and how Kobe wasn't this instant success and he didn't come to the league dominating the league. However, the media never provides context and they constantly say that's why LeBron already surpassed Kobe, because Kobe had Shaq. But you can't have it both ways, because if you disqualify Kobe on the GOAT list because he had Shaq, then say, well, LeBron entered the league carrying his team. Well, I mean, if LeBron James joined a team who already had success with players like Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones, who've been to the playoffs a year before Kobe joined, and then when he arrives, there was already a 7'1" giant who loves eating a table for six, who was already given the keys to the franchise, already given the lucrative deal, and had already carried the franchise to the RBA finals in the Orlando Magic. So did LeBron James come into the league facing those same kind of obstacles like Kobe? Absolutely not. No. So he was drafted to Cleveland, where the last superstar that they ever had was Nate Thurman. So please, let's stop the Kobe Bryant comparisons. LeBron James being better than Kobe, it's like me making love to India Royal. It just ain't gonna happen, people. And speaking of Kobe, let's hear from former player John Sally, who once admitted the RBA was scripted while he didn't think LeBron James would break the all-time scoring record.
You played against Kareem. Kareem retired, had the most points ever. The record has almost stood for 40 years because he broke the record in 1984. Did you think anybody in your lifetime would get this record?
Kareem's record?
Yes.
No. Not even Karl Malone. I think they're not going to let him get it.
They're not going to let who get it?
LeBron.
They got no choice. The man is 1,000 points.
You're going to be really mad. I didn't agree with something Phil Jackson said to me, and then I got into my 50s and I got it. So I didn't agree, but I say, Phil, Kobe had 81. He was about, no matter what you do, he was about to get 104. And he goes, well, some records need to stand.
Thanks, John. Thank you, John. But why wouldn't they allow LeBron James to surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the scoring list? I mean, he's the chosen one. But this is why it's important to decode and pick apart what he's saying. She's basically using reverse psychology. He says that Phil Jackson stated that some records have to stand. Yes, Phil, you're right. Some records do have to stand until LeBron James break them, like the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all-time scoring record. And I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron James breaks Kobe Bryant's 81-point game. But it's just crazy because Phil Jackson allowed Kobe to surpass MJ, who we would expect for you to show favoritism towards, but you allow Kobe to surpass David Thompson. You let him pass everybody else's record, and you see him on fire, but you wouldn't let him go for the 100-point game. It's scripted. Even the Raptors coach stated that. So basically he said, if Kobe would have lost, then they would have said that Kobe was selfish. So basically, in other words, he's just saying to y'all that it's scripted. We allowed them to win, because if they didn't win, then Kobe Bryant would have been called selfish. So in other words, we didn't want him to get called selfish. So, but again, everything would have to go perfect for LeBron James to surpass Kareem, right? Like using steroids, allegedly, sitting out games. It was reverse psychology by John Sally, selling you to doubt that LeBron James wouldn't break it, even though John Sally knew it was scripted for LeBron James to break the record. And that was a backwards way of flipping the script. But fast forward, LeBron James joined the Lakers, and in year one, he has a whole year to stack them points up. Then down the line, they traded for Russell Westbrook, who plays just like LeBron James, so he could score all these points, and Russell Westbrook will play horrible, and they'll blame Russell Westbrook, and he'll be a distraction. He'll surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but LeBron James surpassed Kareem, who was drafted and played for the Milwaukee Bucks. Wilt Chamberlain surpassed Bob Pettit, who was also drafted by Milwaukee, except it wasn't the Milwaukee Bucks. But to draw the conclusion, people, sports is scripted and rigged. That's all my time, folks. Good night, America.